What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Single Speedist. I want to give you a short breakdown of the Austin Rattler race that I participated in last month. This was a qualifying race to enter into the Leadville 100 next year in Colorado. So based on this photo, I'm probably somewhere in the middle of the second lap because I know that by the time I crossed over the finish line, my knees were a lot muddier and bloodier than you see here. But yeah, I'm definitely still in the middle of the pain train right here, you can say for sure. So a little bit about the Austin Rattler. It took place at Reveille Peak Ranch, which it's about an hour west of Austin, right in the heart of the hill country. I have ridden there several times, but I had never raced there until this race. It's a mix of single track, fire roads, but mostly just rock. I mean, you're either just climbing up boulders or shooting down boulders, and that, or it's chewing through a pile of razor blade rock. I mean, this is the type of course where your number one fear is not only getting a flat, but getting an unfixable flat, like a tear through a sidewall.
What's up, y'all? I'm up here at Reveille Peak Ranch, about an hour west of Austin, for getting ready for tomorrow's Austin Rattler race. It's both a mountain bike race, also a run. I will be doing the 60-mile race, which is a 20-mile course, 3 laps. I will be in the single speed open as always, and found out that only first place gets a coin that'll take you to Leadville for next year's Leadville 100 race. Or if you're a finisher, you can enter into the lottery to be given a coin that way too. So I have no idea how big my field is, who's in it, but either way, I'm gonna come out here in the morning ready to raise hell. So I'll check back in with you. Out here and did a little pre-riding. I was on a 32-18. Felt okay, but I think there's enough punches that justify a 19, so I went ahead and threw that on. I think overall it's just going to be a better gear, especially once I get about halfway through the race and I'm really feeling it.
And let me tell you, I am so glad that I made that change, bumping up from an 18 to a 19.2, because like I said, you know, I wanted to be fast on the flats, but I knew that there was going to be a lot of climbing in this course, and at the end of the day, there's not enough flat to justify an 18. I mean, you're either, this whole course, you're either ascending or descending. There's not going to be a long flat stretch that's going to make the difference in this course. And had I stayed on that 18, I mean, I don't know if I still would have gotten first. Probably not. I probably still would have finished, but I would have been in a lot more pain, and I would have been walking a whole lot more than I did on a 19. So really, I think the best gearing probably would have been a 34-20. I was on a 32-19. But, I mean, hey, it worked out. I'm happy for that. But, yeah, an 18 would have been just a disaster on this course. Also, had I been on an 18, I probably wouldn't have been here.
Let's go!
As you could tell, that was the most awkward podium I've ever done. Normally would have thrown my hands up. The guy next to me didn't really seem into it. I felt like they were kind of rushing us off the podium because they had a lot of other categories to get to, so whatever. Hey man, I got my coin. I'm going to Leadville, baby. So I want to tell you about a few upgrades that I did that I think really made the difference. Starting with my crank set. I upgraded I had my SRAM dub crank set. I went ahead and ditched that for a Featherlight, super stiff titanium EE wings made by Cane Creek. And I'm telling y'all, the name of the game here is power transfer. What's the point of working up your quads and your calves only for your cranks not to transfer all the power and all the watts that they're putting through it? And in addition to that, I also upgraded my shoes to the Shimano S-Fires. These things are stiff as hell, got a carbon sole. They are transferring every single watt that your leg is pushing through them right into the chain, right through into the rear hub. I mean, talk about power transfer. This is what you need for race day. I'm only going to use them for race day though, because they're not the most comfortable. So for training rides, I'm still going to stick to my, traditional Giro. Okay guys, and so as promised, I want to go ahead and share with you what I believe is the number one most underrated race day tip. And I recently heard this from another racer, and it just stuck with me, and I decided to try it, and I'm going to stick by it for every race moving forward. Do not touch your bike for 3 days before your race. That sounds totally counterintuitive. Totally counterintuitive. We all want to warm up. We all want to pre-ride. We all want to get our heads sort of in the zone. But what you don't realize is you've been getting in the zone for all those rides that you've done like months and months before the race. You're in the zone. You're strong enough. If you're riding regularly and consistently, you're going to be ready for this. If you're eating healthy and carbing up and getting rest, that part's already done. Don't do what I did at the race before this one, which was only a few months before this race, and pre-ride the course at 6 p.m. The evening before an 8 a.m. race the next morning, and just waste all your energy and calories on a pre-ride, and then perform poorly the next morning, because that's what happened. What's sad is my race time on race day was slower than my pre-ride time the evening before, because I pushed it too hard on my pre-ride, thinking that would help me the next morning. And all it did was waste a lot of energy and make me not realize the next morning, in fact, how tired I was physically, despite feeling ready mentally. So don't touch your bike for 3 days. I did do a very gentle pre-ride at this Austin Rattler the afternoon the day before, but I only went about 3 miles in, and it's understandable if you need to do some recon, check out the course that maybe you're not as familiar with. But bottom line, stay off that bike as long as you can before race day. Not as long as you can, but just find a happy medium. I would say do your hardest ride before race day, maybe 5 days before. And then after that, let your body relax, because you're going to need it. And then so here's in addition to the coin that they give you that qualifies you for Leadville, they give you this card with an access code that you use to register. This was super exciting. I registered right away the next day. I'll be in the single speed open. I'm scared, I'm excited, I'm a lot of things, but I flipped it over, and this is a really cool quote. Make friends with pain and you'll never be alone. You know, it's crazy, but it's true. If you race mountain bikes, you know what they mean by that. Thank you guys so much for checking out another Single Speedist video, and I will be back with y'all again soon.